Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review of Season 2 of Call of the Night, Episode 18. Now, I guess I was mistaken because the last episode when in Cobra's flashback back when she was human, when I saw with the one that I thought was Nazua when she first met, I was wrong because I was wondering, wait, calling by her different name, she's calling her by a different name. Same last name though, but different name. Okay, I was wrong. I was mistaken. It's Nazuna's mother because she looked exactly the same as she was. Same eye color, same colored hair, but shorter hair though. So I was mistaken on that. That was her mother. And so because I was like, wait a minute, that's a different name. Stupid me, you know. But so again, we get more into more of the Cobra's story of with her and Nazuna's mother. So we see more back when now that Kabura is now a vampire, and we find out later that by her telling Nozura and Co that she was her first love, right? But Nuz never saw her that way. Just just a really close friend, and we see like more like not Kubra's more kind of be more depressed because she was like more you say more hurt because she never thought of her she never thought Nazura's mother as her love, more of her offspring basically. She never thought of that more though, while Cobra herself thought it was more to it than just being an offspring. It was she thought it was love and all that stuff. So we see it. So more of that when they're at a bar, and you do get the funny thing. You do get the funny moment where they're at a bar, right, and they're drinking, and Cora notices that something's different about her Nozo's mom because instead of ordering a beer, she orders tea, right? I was like, okay, different drink, I guess, but I'll have a beer. And she goes and tells Kubra that I was interested about marrying somebody, and she goes and when she's drinking, she goes and all over the waiter, the waiter, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll buy you. I'll pay for the dry cleaning." And it turns out that when this guy is good looking, it's like, and looking at the ladies, oh, they're nice looking women. It's like, oh no, it's okay. It's cool, right? I'll get you another one. And she's asking why you want to do that, and it's like, well, it's kind of just doing something differently. And the guy, well, it's not likely married. It's not legally getting married. It's just let's see what happens, right? And the guy is a human, not a vampire. And also turns out that she's pregnant with Nazuna, and she once again Kubra. She's like. With the beer spilling over the guy every single time, like 3 or 4 times she spits all over the guy, and it's like, and every time he's like, "Oh no, it's cool, it's no problem." And so it turns out that Nazuna is half human. Although she's half human, she's born fully a vampire though, and so then she has been sort of distant. She's gotten distant from Kubra over recently. After she had her kid, she sent her a letter and say, "Hey, I'm sorry I'm sorry that I haven't seen you lately, but I have my kid at home. I want you to look after her. Please look after her. She may be a little bit troubled to handle, but I trust you." I'm not quoting the exact same line though. I'm just kind of paraphrasing the gist of it. So, and first she's upset because she left her, right. So, and now she had to stuck babysitting a kid. And when she goes over to her place, which that's where Nazuna is currently living at, same place, she thought about killing it. And then when she goes and sees her, she sees that she's mostly almost like how the way she is now, like the body of a teenager now. she's not an infant, a baby, literally. She's basically, it's like in Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, right? Where Bella and Bella's Edward's daughter has basically is grown significantly. It's kind of like that, right? Where we see Nazu's already basically fully grown away, but her mind is basically her brain is basically has the mind of a toddler, basically, because she didn't know how to speak, she didn't know how to drink blood, right? So Kubra had to take care of her, make sure, learning from her how to talk, how to drink blood thoroughly and stuff like that, right? But the thing is though, every time she looks at Nazuna, right? Because since she basically is a spinning image of her mom, it's hard for her to look her in the eye because she greatly resembles her. So it makes her feel very awkward every time she looks at her. But she also basically she does her hair, like tie her hair back and stuff, right? Like in the present, she does the same thing to Nazuna again, just ties her hair back the same way how the way she had it, right? And so that's basically the logist of it, of her story. And now now you got what you wanted, leave, but then like the next night she had to come back, and like Kubra is like feeling awkward. It's like, hey, Nazuna, come sit on my lap. Basically like a little child, to sit on a mom's lap, and that's what kind of Ko questions her. It's like, why are you lying? You know how the way you saying how the way looking at Nazuna kind of irritates you, but or annoying, but it's like you do care for her. Just like you look at her like a mom. You're saying that that you kind of been acting like a mom to her in a way. Sorry. Um, so yeah, and so it's kind of like how it's basically how we see like how she has Nazuna like laying on her lap basically, and Nazuna's reaction is just like this, very awkwardly laying on her lap like that. So that's basically the whole gist of it, So basically, Nazuna, kind of boring. She kind of goes through like the whole Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, with Bella's daughter way grow basically almost of a teenager body. Basically, that's the same thing with Nazuna, right? But like I said, she's like that, but in her state of mind, when she was newly born, she has the mind of a toddler, basically. So she had to learn, right? And she's been like that for quite a long time. But by now she's basically kind of like 35 or 40 years old. When time has passed. So, but now they have to focus learn about and they warn Cobra about the private detective that's after vampires, and they're asking like what's her deal with why she hates vampires, right? And Cooper is asking, it's like, hey, well, it's kind of your personality is based on your past, right? So it's like how with Nazuna's past, she was basically born happy because she had no conflicting things when she was born, right? But with the detective Onko, right? She must have something horrible must have happened to her to hate vampires. So as Ko is flying away with Nazuna, we cut back to that room where Kubra first stayed when she was a patient. The detective is there. She goes and kicks in that door, and the room is completely empty. No bed, no furniture or pictures or anything. It's a completely empty room. So Kubra must have taken everything out of the room because she said she wanted to get rid of everything that was in that room, right? So nothing. The room is devoid of anything in that room now, and Detective Uncle was like, "Oh, must have came too late, right?" And she has a book of listing of names. One of them is Honda, scratched out, right? Because she already countered her, so counter him. Sorry. So she has to looking at the other listing of names. But overall, yeah, we do get the full story of Kubra's backstory, back when she was a human, always constantly sick, and how she met Nazuna's mom, which that was my mistake in the last episode. I kept calling her Nazuna, but it turns out it was her mom because she's the striking image of her. That's the thing. She looks exactly like her. So we get how we first met, how she became a vampire, and she was kind of like fall for Kabura, but like I said, she kind of felt like hurt and a little bit betrayed because she felt like he was more of her offspring more than, actually the love interest, her lover basically. And then she got stuck looking after her kid after she left. But she does kind of care about Nazo. Like I said, she looked after her like as her next mom. Basically, that's what Ko was saying. You see her as kind of like you're acting like the mom towards her. Even though kind of say it looked awkwardly. Even though looking after her, it was awkwardly. She was being awkward because every time she looked at her, she looks like her mom. Spinning image, like I said. That's why she was always acting so awkward towards her. But now the detective got there, she just bunked out, she, what was it, she Batmaned out of there before the detective showed up and just really fast and within a flash just got rid of everything out of that room, so. And hopefully so we'll get the whole story of the detective's past and why she hates vampires. Which, like I said, I did read a little bit about that, but not fully, though. I kind of got most of the idea about her backstory before we get to see that on here, though. So, yeah. But overall, yeah, still a good episode of Season 2 of Call of the Night, Episode 18. So, but we now know that Nazuna, even though she's half human, but she was born a full vampire, basically. She still has all the stuff of drinking blood, flying, and all that stuff, all the powers of the vampire. Even despite being half human herself, though. But yeah, but still, episode 18 of Call of the Night. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time on the next episode review. Later.